Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for staying tuned. Today we continue with what we started on health matters of poultry, the poultry birds. Now, as we continue on this journey, we'll look at it. We've started with drugs, this poultry science for the avoidance of doubt. When animals develop resistance to antibiotics, we started this in the last video, and so we're progressing on it. Now, in this particular video, we'll be looking particularly at the causes of antibiotic resistance. Now, we'll touch briefly on it in the last video. So you want to take a look at the last video, please check on the last video and see what was said on it, and then compare what we'll be having today. We'll be looking at it very briefly again. Now, what are the reasons why antibiotics bacteria develop resistance to antibiotics? Now, first of all, what antibiotics, like defined in the last video, antibiotics are chemicals that are used to, in general, control bacteria by killing them or inhibiting their proliferation, making sure they don't reproduce and just move on and just proliferate. So, there are times where the antibiotics are not able to have the required effect on the bacteria that they are actually meant, or the fungi that they are actually meant to take care of, to kill or to control. Now, one of the reasons are, number one, prophylactic use of antibiotics. Now, what is prophylactic? Prophylactic means preventive. Now, the opposite of preventive or prophylactic is therapeutic. Therapeutic means curative. So you use something to cure, that means therapeutic. But when you want to prevent something, it's prophylactic. Now, prophylactic use of antibiotics is a situation where I'm not giving this to this animal or this set of animals or the flock in order to cure a disease, but I want to prevent it. So what they do, some people just add a little quantity into the drug, into the feed, or into their water. Now, what that does is this. It will, I'll give the two reasons together, what it affects, what it does. But the second one is as growth enhancers. Now, sometimes people also say, okay, my aim is not prophylactic, but as a growth enhancer. Now, this started around the mid-20th century, when people discovered, okay, fine, we'll add a little quantity. Now, this one has to do with adding a little quantity in the feed. This also has to add a little quantity. That little quantity in the feed, so that it's going to make sure that any little bacteria is going to kill, and then the animal will be growing and growing and growing fine. Now, but do you know the effect? Since those things are not in the right quantity, they are not in enough quantity or quantity enough to kill the bacteria. They're just in small. So the bacteria does the same thing that vaccines does in the body of the animal, whether it's human or any animal. What the bacteria does is this: the little dose they take, and then they are able to overcome it, and then keep a memory of that. By so doing, because now maybe a few of them may die, the others that did not die would not develop their own innate resistance or develop a mutant variant or strain that is going to, or a different form that will be able to circumvent or overcome or not be defeated or killed or inhibited by the antibiotics. So instead of just giving a little, it's just the same thing that happens when you are sick. You don't like the taste of the drug, but you just took a little, and then you're fine. Say, I'm fine. Why don't you finish the entire dose? No, I'm okay. And then you leave it. That's dangerous. You need to finish the entire dose, because if there are still some that are not yet dead, You just only reduce the quantity and so you feel fine, you stop. Those few will develop resistance against that drug. They will come back stronger. So you will not need a larger quantity or more effective, should I say, or higher concentration of the antibiotics in order to defeat or to kill those bacteria. So you have to be careful. So those little quantity you feed because of prophylactic use or because of growth enhancement will make the bacteria develop resistance to the antibiotics. Now, what are the dangers of doing this? The danger of either overuse or misuse of antibiotics. I've talked about it in past already. Now, by this, you already compromise the innate immune system of what? Of the bacteria. They will change to a mutant form that will be able to overcome or circumvent or dodge the effects of the antibiotics. Now, the causes of it are high severity of infection. You now see that the infection on the animal on the other side is this. The infection will be more severe. The infection you're trying to treat will be more severe. Number two, there will be multiple cases of treatment failure. You buy a drug and then you want to treat the entire flock. You discover that you administered a drug, the same drug you used the previous time or have used before, the same quality, but it's not having effect. And that's because the bacteria or the pathogen, it may be bacteria or fungi, have developed resistance. So the drugs begin to fail. And before you know it, you're complaining. And it's also having financial and economic impact. Imagine where you bought an expensive drug for a good quantity of dollar, and before you know it, it didn't work, so you just wasted the money. So the third is death, of course. When the animals did not get well, they die, different from humans. So it's with us. We have to be careful in the use of antibiotics. And antibiotics, I want to say, is like a two-edged sword. If you use it well, it does the job. If you don't, it will cut you. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you have a question, please put it down. We'll continue from here with other effects of wrong use of antibiotics. Please like and share. If you gain value, please make others know. Thank you.